And we are live. Come on in, everybody. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Come on in. However you are watching, we'll be streaming on several platforms tonight, kind of like the old days. And I wanted to do a live stream. I need to do a barrel pick. So I figured, hey, why not do a barrel pick and stream it, right? I mean, it sounds like it's a good idea. Probably a horrible idea because I haven't done one of these in so long. But I figured, let's do this. Let me do a live stream. Let me see if it's working first. It may not even be working. It's been so long since I've done a live stream. I'm a little rusty. Okay, so there it is. I see it on Facebook. Okay, so I know it's working there. I can't actually look at Twitter. Or is it still? Can you still call it Twitter? I don't think you can call it Twitter anymore. But can you hear me? Oh, look at that. Yep, it looks like we've got some folks on YouTube who are already checking it out. So, oh, but damn, we already got like 50 people tuning in. That's awesome. Well, since I got that going on, I'm just going to get right to it. So how is everyone? I just want to say hi. It's been a long time since I have done a live stream. It's been so long. And tonight I was like, you know what? I need to get some content up. It's been a long time since I've done anything on YouTube, like a live stream. I'm also streaming on Twitch, DLive, Facebook, and X. So I'm kind of like going old school tonight. I haven't done one of these in forever. Really, since my top 100. My top 100 was the last time I did that. Which, by the way, I will have a top 100 sometime. And Event Yours coming in and saying, hello, finally made it to a live. I love it. All right, so Brendan Hogan. Good to see you, Brendan. I hope all is well out in Colorado. John Crabtree. Good to see you, my friend. The Bourbon Collective. Good to see you, Bourbon Collective, in here. Yep, John says he can hear me just fine. Fred Mozinter. We saw each other today in a tire shop, actually. His tire got flat, and I got mine changed, so that was kind of cool. And Drew Farron is in the house. Event Yours. Thank you. I'm glad you finally made it. And Iowa Fish Guy. What kind of fish you got going on there, Iowa Fish Guy? Kind of curious. What kind of fish you talking about? But this is going to be a fun night. And if you are, I think the only place where I can see your chat while it's live is actually on YouTube. So if you're watching this on X or if you're watching it on Facebook, drop a comment. I want to see if I can see it. I don't think I can see it, but I will answer any questions that you all have tonight. Ryan Chech says, hello from Nebraska. How's the weather in Nebraska? Brendan's saying in Colorado, it's a little hotter than it should be. They're probably wanting some slope weather by now in Colorado. Yeah, they wasn't that cold to kind of set in. So yeah, I haven't done one of these in so long. I kind of almost like I'm like a little out of like my groove here. Like I used to have a whole like sheet of things I'd say. I had music I'd play. I had all kinds of stuff that I would do. And now I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I gotta fill this airwave with things. Big Whiskey, Matt in the house. Michigan Biker. How's it going, Michigan Biker? Rizzle D, have you tried the 2024 Garrison Brothers Cowboy Bourbon? I have not tried that one. I tried the what's it called? The barrel finish one. I can't remember the name of it. It's a name that is slightly Spanish. Kevin McLaughlin says hello from West by God, Virginia. I like that. Which, by the way, West Virginia beat up my Cowboys, Oklahoma State, last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. Solid win. Jason Cass says, pouring myself a little Detling while you warm up. I appreciate that, Jason. Yeah, put in the chat what you are tasting. Oh, we do have our first official chat from X. So I think Juice Kiffin's Water Bowl. what a Twitter handle, Juice Kiffin's Water Bowl. Yeah, he says he's having some K-Luke toasted barrels. So that's awesome. So I can see the X chat. Yeah, that's awesome. Michigan Biker says, did you taste Juke Joint Uncut? Not this year's. I haven't tasted it yet. And Event Yours, Rizzle D, the Shinks 24 has released 2. Have I had that? I have had Shanks, and that is working. Or yeah, that is tasty. I actually have had that. Michigan Biker says 126%. I mean, he must be talking about the proof. I don't think I've had that one. Then again, I've had a lot in my career, and I've had my share of Juke Joint. So maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I don't know. Kentucky Rob is having a little J. Mattingly 1845 Cecil's Cut. I like it. Wow, we already have 219 people hanging out with us tonight. That's awesome. Andrew Ballas. Man, I'm sorry, Andrew. I always screw up your name. Having some Foursquare 2009 versus Weller 12. Points go to Foursquare. I would say that all day long. And in the house is a Club Marzipan member, Philip Bosch. Several actually Club Marzipan members. And that's actually why we're here tonight. And I'm picking a barrel of right here for Club Marzipan. You know, Club Marzipan is my whiskey club. We get together quite frequently, and we've really built a pretty special community there in Club Marzipan. And and it's not about bottle chasing. Well, I get some pretty cool single barrels, and we do some fun stuff. Got to be honest with you, like if you're someone who's just wanting like to find the next bottle of Blanton's, this is not the club for you. But if you want to learn about bourbon, if you want to hang out with cool people, whether it's on a Zoom or an in-person kind of hang, man, Club Marzipan's awesome. You won't find better people. It's been such an incredible time. And I can see a lot of folks from Club Marzipan in the house. Don Prince, by the way, who is a member of Club Marzipan, is an Ole Miss former football player. Like he was a lineman for Ole Miss. And I haven't talked to him since they lost to Kentucky. So wonder what the mood is at Ole Miss. Of course, there's 12 teams that can make the playoffs now, so it probably hasn't really actually hurt him that much. Whiskey Tornado, Lance from Barrels for Hope. Oh, good to see you. He's having a pour of my Nashville Barrel Company Club Marzipan pick, and he says it is fantastic. Right on. Glad to hear it. All right, so let's get down to business. Derek is in the house. What is going on, Derek? Now, one little caveat for tonight is my glassware is not consistent. I have like this Libby glass. I have like a small kind of like unique Angel's Envy glass, 2 Glencairns, and then I have this. Now you might be asking yourself, how can I literally own about 3,000 Glencairns, and then I own probably about, right now in boxes I have about 30 Visky glasses, and I have about 20 neat glasses in boxes. How can I, who have all of these glassware, have all these glasses, not have a consistent glass for tonight's tasting? Well, I will tell you plain and simply, that they're all boxed up and somewhere else. And in my office, the Glencairns that I do have were pretty dirty, and I just didn't feel like doing the dishes. So that was kind of my way of saying, like, I'm being lazy, I guess. I'm being lazy. But hey, I'm not being lazy in the fact that I am doing this barrel pick live. I mean, that's a big step for me. It's a big one, especially since I have jiu-jitsu tomorrow, and I have not been tasting before I have jiu-jitsu the day before usually. So we'll see how this goes, because I know what's going to happen. I know I'm going to get up hanging out here, and Don or Philip or Matt or someone's going to ask me a question, and I'm going to be like, well, I'll just have one more. Oh, and then I'll have one more. My God, it's midnight. And then we're like, woo. So I'll get myself in trouble. Hey, Roger Schaefer in the house. Good to see my fellow Oklahoma State alum there. Good to see you. That is right, Roger. At least Ole Miss did not lose to West Virginia. We're having a hard time right now. We're having a hard time with the football team, but our wrestling squad is looking good. But I don't think there's many collegiate wrestling fans in the house. Eli Spector says, yo, thank you for the last year's cameo. The app wouldn't let me communicate that. Really appreciate it, and will request another. Oh, heck yeah, Eli, that's awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I really am. And you know what? I haven't been doing much on Cameo lately. I should probably try to focus on that a little bit more, because it is a lot of fun, especially around the holidays. I might square a week or two off away from writing. Okay. So here's what we have tonight. So I'm picking a barrel of picking a barrel of Forbidden, which is Marianne Eves' whiskey brand, and she's partnered with Bardstown Bourbon Company. So we have, I got all the samples right here. Jason Cass says, Philip, will this bourbon go down with carrot cake? I think there's a side conversation going on there with Philip Bosch and Jason. I'd like to know. I love carrot cake. Congrats on your first set of videos, Fred. Give him a shout. Okay. Let's see. We got Robert Harper. And oh, very nice. A lot of people commenting on the instruction of how I taste. Glad to hear it. Gavin Stafford says, howdy, good to see you. There's a lot of conversations going on in the chat where I get to talking and I look down and I completely missed it. Jeff Feist says in X that everything goes well with cake. I don't know about that, Jeff. There's some cakes that I've never really been able to make work. Like there's like a real what's that cake you re-gift in the holidays, and it's got that really minty medicinal flavor to it, and it can be like 5 years old. What's that called? What's that cake called? They gift it in the Christmas Vacation. Oh God, what's gonna drive me crazy? What is that cake? Somebody put it in the chat. Anyway, I hate that cake, so that may be why I've never been able to pair anything with it. But I think it's like, tastes like Robitussin. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, so here's what we have to choose from tonight. All right, we have a 6.3-year-old bourbon, 6.3, 3.6, another 6.3, and fruitcake. That's it. Yes, that's a 1975 fruitcake. I love it. That is it. I don't know how or why I could not come up with fruitcake. I mean, maybe because I'm the fruitcake here, right? Okay, so we have one 3.5, 3.6-year-old At least that's what it says. I wonder if it might have just been a simple mistake because everything else is 6.3. You know, sometimes you're writing a bunch and you pen it wrong. I don't know. But so these barrels are, we've got, there's not a lot of, so they're detailed by lot numbers and barrel numbers. And honestly, there's not much else on there. I don't have the type of bourbon it is. I do have proof. So the 3.6-year-old is 107.42 proof. The 6.3-year-old, this one is 115. The other one's 116, 116, and 115. So we have two 115s and two 116s. And then the 3.5-year-old is 107. So, how I like to pick barrels is I imagine, because I'm picking a barrel here for a Club Marzipan, right? And so when you pick a barrel for a bunch of other people that's not yourself, you got to try to be a little selfless there. You can't just say, oh, I like that one because of this note. You got to really try and have like a common pairing thread. And what I look for when I'm picking a barrel, because I know other people will want to buy it, is I look for something that's big enough and bold enough that can pair with a big, juicy ribeye or a steak of your choice. And I find that the very best bourbons will coat your tongue, curl up underneath, tickle the back of your throat, and even maybe tickle the top of your palate. And they will be all mouth coating. They will be all kind. They will feel awesome on your palate. And that is usually also layered in flavors, whether it's caramel or marzipan or cinnamon or pepper. They tend to have a lot of things going on. So that is what I look for. I look for specifically something that will hit the palate and hold up against a big old juicy steak. Cedric chimes in, says, Army Strong. Damn right, Army Strong. So I was Army. Very proud of serving my country. Served 9 years in the Army National Guard, 3 of which was on active duty. And in the majority of that active duty time was in prep or in the Middle East, and specifically Iraq. So here we go. I'm thankful to you, Cedric, for saying that, and good to see you here, man. All right, I'm going to taste the bourbon 119529. This is 107.42 proof. Oh, Philip is saying, make sure it pairs well with the steak Big Whiskey prepares. Okay, on the nose, look, that color, that color looks pretty light, it smells grainy. Y'all, Gavin, while I'm working on this tasting here, make sure that you all who are pretty educated with palates and been tasting with me for a while, especially my Taste Camp crew, make sure you tell Gavin Stafford in here. He's asking some good questions. A few others. I'd love to see people put in the chat what is a wheated bourbon that they would recommend for Gavin. Let's say under $75. Okay, so this first one is grainy smelling. It's not really winning me over on the nose. Palate wise, it's a little It's a little astringent for me. I don't find this to be a very good balanced one, right? So it's right off the bat, it is super astringent. I just saw in the comments that Prozac says Pappy 15-year-old is a recommended middle of the pack leader, and I know that Prozac is at home with that incredible handle and just laughing his ass off or her ass off, knowing that everyone is going to be like, that ain't middle of the road. I would love to. I mean, I'm just having this vision of this person in their couch, just completely stirring up shit. I love it. But back to the barrel tasting. When you taste something that your first impression is are things that are alcohol, I mean, that's out for me. Like I'm not a fan of that. I don't want to see alcohol laden notes in my whiskey. I want to see, there needs to be, the proof needs to be there, and I'm all about having some backbone, but I want the flavor to shine. I want the ingredients to work, and this to me is not a good example of that. So we're just going to go ahead and kick out that first one. I mean, it would probably pair okay with, like, something, but not one of our steaks. All right, so now I'm going to go to the barrel 65456. This is 6.3 years old, 115.74 proof. And feel free to put questions in the chat. If I'm not able to answer them because I'm tasting or something, the folks in the chat are usually pretty darn good at that. We've got some very educated tasters in there. A lot of folks in the chat tonight are from Club Marzipan, and have attended a lot of the educational sessions. So very excited. It's very exciting for me to see them recommending bottles in the chat. That's kind of like, those are my students. I love them. So proud of them. How about everyday double barrels? Andrew asks. I'll start with Woodford Double Oak. You know what? I was kind of against Peerless Double Oak when it first came out. I've grown. It's grown on me. Buzzard's Roost has a really nice double oak that I like. It's a double oak rye. I don't know if that's everyday though, but that's those are a couple right there. I definitely Robert says Pursuit United Double Oak. Of course, full transparency, they're my partners on the Bourbon Pursuit podcast, and I support them and all that, but I have nothing to do with that brand. Okay, so this is like a night and day smell for me. This smells like caramel, so this is this 6.3-year-old 115.74 proof. It's like a caramel chew, like some kind of it smells amazing. Matt in the chat, or Big Whiskey, asks, will Marianne Eve sign our bottles? That is a possibility. Yeah, I'm sure she'd sign your bottle. Okay. This smells like really good bourbon. It's setting it up for, it's setting it up as caramel. But, the thing is, sometimes when you smell something on the nose, it does not deliver on the palate. And this is one of those ages, 6 years old, and a bourbon is an age where it could deliver or it could underdeliver. There we go. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Oh, man. I'm just imagining taking a big old slice of a juicy ribeye, feeling all that fat up in there on my tongue, and then taking a sip of bourbon and that ocean wave of caramel coming all over and kind of like connecting with the fat on the tongue. Oh my God. This is delicious. This is a This is kind of a caramel bomb, but it doesn't have that last kick at the end to be full on. So I'd say it's caramel bomb minus. I saw Philip put in the chat, caramel bomb coming. Here it's coming. It's coming. But it's just that we do lose a little bit of that kind of that caramel bomb toward the finish. But I will say the note of caramel is so powerful in this that it's so powerful up front that you almost forget that you got to pay attention to the finish. And that's part of being an analytical taster that can sometimes suck, is that you taste something, you really love it, you really like it, but you have to pick it apart because you have to choose something, you have to taste it up against other stuff. And frankly, that is the part of my job that does kind of suck. So, yeah. Oh, okay. So we got Megan and Liam in the house. Good to see you all. This one is definitely a contender. I like it a lot, but we got 3 more to taste, so let's get to it. Like I said before, feel free to put any questions that you all have in the chat. Good to see Aaron V in the house. Aaron, I know this is my first live stream in a long time. I haven't done one of these in a while. But I just kind of felt it tonight, Aaron. I was like, you know what? Out there somewhere is somebody sitting on their couch drinking alone. And by God, I can pick a barrel and they can hang out. They can hang out with us. So, oh, hey, Keith. Keith putting in the Keith putting in a little $20 action to the super chat. I appreciate that. I forgot all about the super chat thing. I seriously forgot about that. I usually turn that off, but thank you. He says, have you considered being a part of ADHD Matt Madness? It is super fun to watch. Much respect. I think that was one of those that it kind of comes up on like a busy season for me. And also Matt is a judge for me on the Ascot Awards, and big fan of his. So I love supporting him. Big Whiskey, question for the steak peeps in the house. Do you use beef tallow and real butter, Kerrygold, to cook steak with, or use the bathing it as it rests? Aaron says, it has been a while. Yep, it sure has. Fred, what helped you transition when you got out of the military besides jiu-jitsu? Well, jiu-jitsu is relatively new for me, Aaron. I've been rolling for 2 years. So I wish I found it earlier. My joints may disagree with that assessment, but I do wish I found it earlier. I love it. I love it a lot. But really, to be honest with you, the bourbon community was a big part of me transitioning out of the military. I'm very open about the struggles I had when I came home from Iraq. I had a hard time, a real hard time. And when I got into therapy and got out of therapy, was like, was going to make it. And I learned a technique called taste mindfulness while in therapy, and I was covering the bourbon industry. I mean, the bourbon community really put their arms around me and welcomed me. And I think at that time too, nobody was covering bourbon at the level that people like me were. Like there was maybe 6 whiskey writers in the world at that time, people who were focusing on whiskey full time. And I remember talking to Lou Bryson about it, and he's just like, yeah, there's not a lot of people who really focus on whiskey. They just do a little bit of everything. But I chose whiskey, and specifically I chose American whiskey. And a couple of my heroes like Mike Veach and Chuck Cowdery and Lou Bryson and John Hansel, they just completely adopted me, and it kind of helped me come up. And, I swear I woke up and then I had 2 kids and several books and working on another one, and I had this nightmare fear the other day that we had another kid. And I woke up asking Jacqueline if we're like, are you pregnant? I'm going to be in big trouble for bringing that one up. But anyway, let's talk about steak. Put that in the chat. Like, how are you cooking your steak? Okay, so this is but anyway, I hope that answers your question, Aaron. The transitioning was not an easy time for me, but I've been an open book about that the last few years, and I'm very proud of where I am now, and I wouldn't be here without with the help of the bourbon community, and especially without an incredible team and my amazing family. So cheers. All right, here's the second one. All right, this one smells like, this is going to sound weird, but this smells like gravy. Like a tub of gravy in the kitchen and wood. Oh, damn. It smells like gravy and tastes like maple bacon. Woo! This is breakfast in a glass for Club Marzipan, folks. Wait, Philip's telling me that ads are interrupting you all. Shit. I'm sorry about that. I don't know. I thought I turned all that off. Like, I was surprised that there was a super chat that came through. My bad, Philip. My bad. Don't hate me. That's YouTube. Don't hate me. So we've got a contrast in styles here. We've got a one that's a caramel bomb light that I think would completely completely roll over all the fat of a ribeye. And then you have what I consider to be like a maple bacon kind of flavor profile that would, add cholesterol with you as you're having cholesterol in your steak. And we know that's very important to match cholesterol with cholesterol. It equals, 2 negatives equal a positive, right? So. All right, let's go to the next one. So for those who are being aggressively harassed by advertisements on YouTube, I apologize for that. It's been a long time since I've set one of these up, and I guess I thought I turned off the ads, but I apologize for that. And I'll make it up to you. I'll do another one. All right, so let's do the next one. This is 6.3 years old and 116.79 proof. Okay, this smells like a fence post. Yeah, this smells very woody. Oh, God, no. Oh my God. Whew. That tastes like sea moss and a piece of barnwood had a baby. Oh my God. Oh, somebody asked me a question as as that flavor falls off my tongue, because that was a palate killer right there. Boomer asks, what are some of the next big trends in bourbon? Oh, um, I think the biggest trend is that consumers are going to kind of be fed up with the larger distilleries, and I think you are going to see people adopt the some craft distillers. I think there's a movement out there that is kind of not getting enough play, but there is a movement of people who are just done with Buffalo Trace releases, and they're like, you know what? I've got what I need from these distilleries. I'm going to try out Dad's Hat. And I bring up Dad's Hat because not Robert, but Derek asked me how Dad's Hat was. And I was just there and I picked a barrel of Dad's Hat for Club Marzipan. And I think that if small distillers can weather the storm, and some of these like really good independent bottlers can weather the storm, I think they're about to be really rewarded in the next 2 years by you all. I really believe that we're going to be in the age of discovery of people who survived the pandemic and then some. So yeah, that's my thought there. Louis the Fourth says age statements. Yeah, age statements might make a return. I don't know, maybe. Brendan, do you think the Buffalo Trace expansion was done too late? Huh. Buffalo Trace is selling whiskey hand over fist. So I think that they're going to be, that probably was done just fine because they've got international demand that exceeds, our expectations at the moment. So no, I don't think so. They're probably already needing to do more. Tim asks, have you tried the Jimmy Russell 70th edition? I have not. I am behind on the tastings. I know that's kind of old hat for you all to hear now, but Dusan says, hey, what do you think of the Dusties pre-fire were less sweet and caramelly than today's bourbon? Yeah, I mean, some were, but, if you get some Dusties, like if you get Dusties from Stitzel Weller time frame, and even some of the national distillers, you'll find some caramel bombs in there. So, yeah, I think they kind of they definitely are less prolific with caramel in those days. But Matthew asks, so what is your favorite caramel bomb? Now that is a tough one. That's a tough one. I would say Larceny. In the last year, Larceny Barrel Proof has been caramel bombing the shit out of my mouth, and I can't say it enough. Like, they just won. Larceny A124 has won three blind bourbons of mine this year. 3. That is unprecedented. So, yeah, it's incredible what A124 is to my palate. And last year's, all 3 of them were caramel bombs. The A and the B and the C were incredible. Megan and Liam ask, have you had anything from Nobleton's Distillery in Missouri? I have not. Look forward to checking it out. Aaron, what line do you think makes best the everyday shelfer? Green River or he's saying Green River or Bardstown Origin Series is great. I think the everyday bourbon is dependent upon price point. If we want to say under $40, under $50, for me, Four Roses single barrel. Woodford's got to be in there for a lot of folks. Evan Williams Bottled and Bond's got to be in there. Wild Turkey 101's got to be in there. But I just, rare breed could be in there depending on your market. I've seen rare breed as high as $70 in some markets. I was in Oregon, and I think I saw it for 75. I just, it just varies. It just varies. But there's so many good everyday ones. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This is the last barrel of the 5. And this is barrel 37821. It's 116.76 proof. So just a notch above the 2 and the running, and a notch below what we just had. Okay. Well, it smells nice, but it's fragrancy. Like, it smells like a little bit like it got some like perfume, floral kind of notes. Oh, that is another caramelicious one, and that will definitely be going forward. So I'm gonna do a taste off between these three. So we have 2 very caramel centric ones. Ironically, they're both in Glencairns. And then we have like a maple bacon smoky kind of flavor in one. I'm kind of in love with all 3 of them for their own particular reasons. Let me try the first one again. But also, Club Marzipan members, put in the chat. I'm going to say I'm tasting A and then B and then C. Put in the chat which one that you think that you would like the most. Jeffrey asks, can you list your whiskey of the year contenders so far? What stands out at this point? Well, I can give you a couple brands. I mentioned Larceny A124. That I'm really high on. Another one that I like a lot, and I did a review on, was called Old Stubborn. That one really hit the needle for me. Glacé. All right, this continues down the road of caramel, but if you go past that, that is not. Hey, we got a comment in here from Twitch. I stream on Twitch, but I do pretty much nothing in there. So shout out to Chef Old Wolf, who says bourbon suffers from the new oak barrels. Yeah, in some cases they can suffer from the new oak. That can cause it to make it real woody, especially if the wood, was not treated right, or if the barrel is, or if the whiskey's real young. But I just want to say a shout out to someone on Twitch, Chef Old Wolf, for commenting. So, we don't have a lot of people watching over on Twitch, but we got 545 watching simultaneously right now. So what I was getting at with this barrel is that this one has it's a one note wonder, and that one note is fantastic. It's wonderful. It's wonderful, and if this was a high school, even like a small college or mid-tier college quarterback, All-American, All-American all the way. But when you get up into the pros, you know what? Can't read the defenses, or if we want to talk baseball, can't hit the curveball. This one has some limitations. But that one note is so good that it can carry the bourbon a long way. Going to the one that I feel like is that kind of like maple bacon note. Oh my God. Oh. Since I last tasted it, it has gotten better, or I've gotten more familiar with these whiskeys. I don't know. But it is leaps and bounds better than the first one. And everyone in the chat, part of Club Marzipan, is saying, I want the long finish. I want the long finish. Well, this one's still on my tongue and like every single inch of my tongue and just going crazy. Like it is going. It feels amazing. It's tickling every single inch of my tongue. And it's just slightly curling up underneath. I would not say fully, but I mean, it's still there. It's still there. It is, this palate is unbelievable. But I do think this last one is a contender from the perspective that oh no, we're losing Chef Old Wolf. He doesn't like the multi-platform streamers. You and your YouTube chat have a nice time. Oh man, Chef Old Wolf, don't leave us. I'll do a specific Twitch stream for you one day. But stick around, Chef Old Wolf. We'll lose you. We miss you. We miss you already. Oh. And Ducky Doo says, hey, he switched here from YouTube. All right. So we're going to find something for Twitch. But cheers to you guys. Thank you for being here. Okay. Tim says maybe we should do 2 barrels. I think there is there's some thought there with that, but there's a lot of demand on these barrels. Like Marianne was hitting me up and saying like, yo, everybody wants these barrels. Will you hurry up and pick your barrels? Because I've had these samples for like 2 months now, I think. Okay, going back to that caramel note that I said originally on this last one. Oh, damn. Oh, damn, this is good. This comes down to a fundamental question. Do I want maple bacon or do I want caramel? Wow. But then again, if we take a look at the very tenets of what people like, and Club Marzipan, much like me, loves a good finish. I think I will just base it on finish alone. If we say that the maple bacon is equal to like a caramel bomb, some it may be, but if those are equal, then we got to go with the finish. So let's just do a good old-fashioned taste-off here. This feels so good on the palate. Kevin McAdams says, Fred is the guy. Well, thank you for that, Kevin. Roger Schaefer, a Club Marzipan member, says caramel is definitely his jam. That's what he wants. He wants the caramel, but likes the long finish as well. Also, shout out to Jackson. His son is in the room, too. I think he's live streaming with Jackson. Okay, here we go. So that finish was just about 45 seconds, close to a minute. So very long finish, right? Very, very long finish. and that your maple bacon heavy note is big old honking almost a minute. Big old almost a minute. Tunes 21. What does Amberana taste like? Cinnamon toothpicks that were left in the dirt for too long, and somebody peed on them. That's the Amberana note from me. Keith puts in the chat. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Again, I was not thinking about this tonight, but I thought I turned off all the ads and the super chats and everything. I appreciate you all doing the super chat. But he asked, what was the best gathering you went to that you didn't want to go to, but they surprisingly had a bottle that surprised you? Oh, my God. It's like Keith knows me. It's like Keith is like calling my wife or my buddy and manager, Clay, and saying, like, you know, talking to him like, hey, Fred, is Fred going to go to this event? Like, I don't go to a lot of stuff because there's just so much. But there was, what's an event that I really, really didn't want to go to? I think that's just it, is like, if I show up, I want to be there. But if I don't show up, and sometimes I can't make things, like there's a scheduling conflict, right? But sometimes I just, you know, I find myself, you know, if I make a commitment to go, I go. Like, and it doesn't matter how far in advance or whatever, like, and that is something that, you know, my family has always held to. Like, that's, like, you show up if you say you're going to show up. And I swear to God, that's the key to my success in life. It's a key to my success as a writer. It's my key to success at everything, is I just show up. I probably suck. I probably really do suck at, like, the majority of the things that I do. But I show up, and the people who are better than me stop showing up eventually. And, you know, in this profession, especially in the whiskey profession, if you can hold your alcohol for a long period of time, I don't mean like continually drinking, but I mean being able to manage the amount of alcohol you drink and all that. If you can manage that and you can have an incredible career. I mean, there have been people who have come and gone so much. Anyway, I'm digressing. So I went to, let's just say I went to one of my kids' birthday parties, and it was awesome. So that's an event that I went to, and they did have bourbon there. So that's one that did surprise me. Oh my gosh, looky here. Oh, we got Matt in the house from Mash and Drum. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason from Mash and Drum. In my defense, Jason, I have been sipping on a live stream for the first time in a year. So the fact that I fucked your name up there, apologize. But hey, Jason, for real, I don't know if you saw this, but Inside Hook, this magazine, asked me who my favorite whiskey tuber was, and I said it was Mash and Drum. So I hope you saw that. I think the world of you, man. I'm so thankful that you're a judge on the Ascots, and we've become BFFs. Todd, are you going to Western Kentucky Distillery? Jacob called to do a barrel with one of theirs. Actually, I was there when they opened up, Todd, and they did this big old giant fireworks display, and I got the scratch in my head. It's like, we're doing fireworks within like 100 feet of a distillery. And I was just like, I don't think this is a good idea. And the fireworks were huge, but it was awesome. It was a good time. Kevin says he's so tired of the overpriced bourbons. Well, Kevin, you want to know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of trains. You see this train right here? This train, Kevin, is a big, giant piece of shit. What did this train do for anybody? Nothing. Who cares? Fuck your train. And Kevin, if you don't know what that's about, I'm sure someone in the chat will let you know. But that was for my boy Jason there. All right, so I got to actually taste this one. You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm really leaning toward the maple bacon and completely dismissing the finish. And I think the maple bacon one will beat the other one in the finish anyway. So yeah, I'm going with barrel 56077. It is the one with the maple bacon. Everybody wants to do 3 barrels. Like, let me explain to you all how this works for the retailers. I call them and say, hey, I got 3 barrels now. And then they're like, well, that's like $30,000. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's not, if you spend it, that's great. I mean, Club Marzipan will buy it, right? Because they do all this all the time. And then we send out the link, and then maybe a handful of people will buy all 3 barrels, but then they'll be like, hey, what's your favorite barrel? What's your favorite barrel? And then I'll tell them what my favorite barrel is, and they'll only buy that one. So it is right now, in the moment, you're like, let's buy all 3 of them. But when it comes down to it, actually put your credit card down for it to the retailer. Will you buy all 3 of them? And the answer is usually, maybe. But so we've got our winner right here, and this is a maple bacon bomb. A maple bacon bomb. And I got to tell you, this is a note that I don't really put in a lot of my tastings, but bacon can often get all of the smoky notes. A lot of people will say it's like smoked paprika. You'll hear chipotle from time to time. Sometimes you'll just hear some kind of smokiness. But bacon has its own flavor. It just has its own flavor note. And, I'm just saying. Where's Jason? Is Jason still in the chat? You still around, buddy? I think he'd like this one. All right. So we have our victory. We have our victor here. And this is going to be the Club Marzipan pick that I hope gets in for the holidays. So this is going to be a forbidden pick for the holidays. I hope it gets all lined up and we have it on sale by the holidays for you. So, but yeah, Jason, man, we should do another collab. We should do like a train, influential tasting or something. I don't know. We can have some fun with it. But the truth is, like right now, I've kind of turned my channel into more of an interview, style channel, and all my reviews, or most of my reviews, are going over to Club Marzipan on that side of things, and I'm not doing as much like this over here anymore. And I got to be honest with you, I kind of miss it. Like I did this live stream tonight because I missed it, and just so cool. Andrew asked, so let me give you the details on the winner. This is 6.3 years old. This is from lot number 18D13, and it is bourbon barrel number 56077. Other than that, those are all the details that I have. Now, I have a question for you. I do have a lot of unopened boxes over there. And I believe Brendan Hogan is calling for it right now. But if you all would like to see like me open a box and just taste whatever the hell's in there, I'm all about it. I'll do it. I've got 32 boxes or so in the other room. But I got to have some support here. I got to know that you're in, you want this, you want to see it. Because it's a lot of work for me to get up and walk over there and grab a box and then use this, right? You know, I mean, that's just a ton of work for me. A ton of work. So if you're in for that, if you want those kinds of things in your life right now, I'm also going to have to get a refill of water. All right. Well, Philip Bosch says he's in. That means I got to do it. Got to do it. That's the law of Marzipan. Also, there is an assumption, too, that you'll see someone in the chat named Sid Eline. Guarantee you that guy is drinking straight from the bottle right now. It's just like he's glugging. He's like the guy at Moe's Tavern in The Simpsons. He's like, gah, 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 gah. What's his name? Barney? He is our equivalent of Barney. But he's not like, you know, he's more disheveled and proper than Barney. So he is and he always has a driver, so he never drives himself. So, like, it's quality stuff. Love you, Sid. Okay, to the unboxing. Here we go. Got to find the box. Okay. Oops. So, I actually had one pretty interesting box that was open back there that somebody was asking about. And then a couple other boxes that... There's some really big boxes. I have a box that's the size of a hallway in there right now. But I figured somebody asked about this. Maybe I should taste that. The 70th release, the 70th year, 70th Jimmy Russell's 70th, you know? Or I've got something from Jay Rieger. Okay, so I've got a bottle from Jay Rieger, which is a fan favorite of Club Marzipan. And then I got something that felt really far too heavy for this box. This is way heavier than the box looks like. And I don't know anything about the shipper, but they're from New York. Typically means something. So I'm going to open all 3 of them, and then we'll decide. I can maybe taste 2 of them. Maybe. Got a question for you all. What do you think of the new releases of the show, the Fred Minnick show? Have you enjoyed them? We've been putting out a lot. My team's been putting a lot of work in there on those shows and the interviews. On Tuesday, Gavin Rosdell drops, and that'll be a good one. Okay, so the big heavy box is this, and it's a bullet package that's like falling apart. Like, it smells like this box smells like spray paint, actually. Okay. All right, so we got a 10-year rye, and then a 10-year bourbon. So yeah, that explains why it was heavier than it looked. Two bottles and a wood cask, or a wood, not a cask, but a wood box. Okay, so let's see what we have here with Jay Rieger. Derek says he really likes the Glenn Howerton episode. Appreciate that. I got a note here from Ryan, one of the owners of Jay Rieger. Yeah, I probably shouldn't read that out loud. Yeah, I'm not going to read that out loud. So we got, what do we have here? We have a straight bourbon. So we have a straight bourbon here from Jay Rieger. Okay. Sweet mash. Giddy up. And then, of course, probably the headliner. All right, so this is the press box they gave me. I want you to see that. See the press box there? That's what it came in. They gave me what looks like to be a metal cube of some type. Why the fuck they're doing that? Little card. Oh, I always like these. Coasters. Anybody want these coasters? More metal cubes. Why are we doing metal cubes with real whiskey? Good Lord. Well, at least you know you can't choke on that. I don't know. Someone might be able to. Okay, so, you know what? I don't care about any of that stuff. Just give me the whiskey. Alright. So here we go. This is... This is it. This is the bottle. So would you all... What would you like me to taste first? I'm not gonna do the bullets, so I'm kind of like I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do the Rieger and I'm gonna do the Wild Turkey. Which one would you like first? Would you like the Wild Turkey first, or would you like the Rieger first? And I will do these. Jeff says turkey. Derek says turkey. Doug Pendleton in the house. Oh, man. I haven't seen Doug in a while. Philip says Rieger, turkey. Sid's like, oh, I knew he wouldn't do the bullet. Sid knows me well. All right, looks like it's pretty overwhelming. Pretty overwhelming for turkey. Okay. So, here we are on a live stream. And I told you I would do this. No, we got a lot of takers for the coasters. Seriously, though, if you would like, I mean, I don't know how to do the giveaway, but I'll find a way to give you the coasters. I think probably the best way to do it, and I don't know how to do it, but just say you want the coasters, and I'll figure out a way. I'll do some kind of random shit and find you, or you email me or something. I don't know. But I have plenty of these coasters, and I'd love for these coasters to go to a good home. I spilled water all over here. All right, so we're going to go to turkey first. So we're looking at... first of all, we have 666 concurrent viewers at the moment. So if somebody can call up a friend to come on, so we don't have that while I'm tasting, that'd be awesome. Like, find a friend, have your mom open up another device. But we don't want 666 viewers when we could have fewer, because that's not a mark I want. Actually, I'm going to do a little screen capture of that because that's freaking me out. So somebody call a friend. You know, I can't taste it with 666 on there. I just can't. Now, it's Halloween season, and Andrew's like, hey, sign the coasters. I'll totally sign the coasters. Totally sign them. We need another person in here. It's going to go. We need someone else, or someone's got to drop out, or we're going to like. All right. Ducky Dua says he disconnected from YouTube, but someone must have got back on. Oh, no, and Aaron comes in and is like, I leave for a few minutes. I know, right? All right, well, screw it. Look, I go to church. I'm a good Christian boy, I think. Catholic boy. Let's be honest. I'm not that good. I'm a good dad and husband. I'll say that. That's about it. Okay. All right. So we're still at 666. Derek's like, if I can get the coasters, he'll do it. Philip's like, I'll drop and come back. Tim added his phone. Yeah. We're, I think my software is fucking with me, to be honest with you. 666. Eric's like, Eric Carrico has been, hasn't said anything all night. He's like, hey, pray for us. Hey. Okay. So I'm tasting the wild turkey, 101, 8-year-old, in celebration of Jimmy Russell. And let me be very clear. Jimmy is very special to everybody in whiskey, not just American whiskey. He is, as we're talking Satan with 666, he is a disciple of bourbon. He is often called the Buddha of bourbon because of his appearance. But to be honest with you, he is more than that. He's a great dude. He remembers every conversation he has with you. And he believes in Kentucky bourbon in a way that you would not see. You would expect to see from someone who is that elder of a statesman. Like you would expect him just to be about his brand, but he wants you tasting Four Roses. He wants you tasting Woodford Reserve. You know, he wants you tasting MB Roland. He cares about everybody, and I think he is truly the kind of person in this world, in this industry, that is, you know, it's why it's so special. And he's in his mid 80s now. Last time I saw him was, I think, in July. He's just kind of hanging out there and taking pictures with folks. It was pretty awesome. The chat went dark on me when we hit 666. So is this still happening? Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to taste it now. Let's get to it. I'm going to get to it. We're not going to get past the 666 number. I'm just going to taste it. All right, so this smells very... This smells like sweet feed. This is a note that I will come up with from time to time. Oh no, Ryan Haley says 666 is just a number. If you pay attention to it, that's when something goes wrong. No, Ryan, you didn't have to say that. Ryan has totally jinxed this whole live stream. No. I'm kidding, Ryan. If something happens, it's not your fault. It's not your fault at all. Anyway. So, sweet feed, right? So I grew up with horses, raised horses, and had all sorts of animals when I was raised. Growing up, I raised sheep, I raised horses, pigs, chickens. I never had cattle. Cattle were too expensive for us, but I worked with cattle. By the way, we are past the 666 number. Thank you all. Thank you. We're now at 701. Thank you. Cheers. So anyway, this smells like a bag of sweet feed, right? So oats, molasses, maybe rye, maybe some corn, but it's like that kind of like not all those flavors in one, kind of like merged, an amalgamation of them. But here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's pretty good. Okay, so palate-wise, nutmeg, pumpkin pie, cinnamon, like a Jamaican jerk spice, little smoked paprika, and then just a touch of spearmint toward the end. I find this finish is pretty long, but not like I would expect a wild turkey to finish. Like wild turkey often finishes like really deeply in the back of my palate with like a cinnamon note. This is finishing at the front of my palate with more of a sweetness, like a caramel chew. So like a note that I didn't find as prominent at the beginning is now very powerful on the front of my tongue for the finish. And you'll hear me describe my tongue. Everyone's tongue is different. Everyone has feels flavors in different spots. Taste mindfulness is kind of how I train my palate. You know, you can use it for yours as well. I have some videos where I can, you know, I've talked about that before, but this does not have the quintessential kind of like, you know, finish for me for wild turkey. So I would probably taste this blind and not guess wild turkey. That's kind of my gut here, is I would not think this was wild turkey if I was tasting it blind. Don says, I have heard some people say it has a dusty note. I think that to me, the dusty note to me is actually the common wild turkey note. That's a very common note for me. And I don't get that here. The two notes that would cross over would be the nutmeg and the Jamaican jerk. So those are the two notes that make the crossover for me with this one. But also, Don, I did a barrel pick tonight. You know, I'm not going to say my palate is like 100%. Like I'm not here trying to do a tasting. I just kind of threw this in, but I don't feel like my palate's bad, but I also haven't been going through the rigors like I would for my top 100 or a spirits competition. Like I haven't put I didn't test my tongue tonight like I would if I was picking my top 100. So that could be something. I mean, you'll find out when you buy the Forbidden Barrel pick that I thought tasted like maple bacon. You'll be like, what the fuck was Fred smoking that night? You know, him and his fucking cowboys. I'll taste it again, but I'm gonna kind of I think I'm gonna kind of hold true to that. By the way, did anybody want these things? These weird ice cube things? These, you know? I don't want them. I hate it when brands send me this stuff. Except these. I love these. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's good. It's good. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's great. Like, I mean, I think yes, Aaron, they do send me all this stuff for free. I just want the whiskey. I just want to taste the whiskey and review it. All the other stuff. Aaron, you got to understand. You got to understand, Aaron. I have boxes everywhere. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, you get all this whiskey. It's so awesome. It's so nice. Yeah, it's true. But you also have to taste it. And when you find yourself up against like 17 whiskeys that you could argue taste, that smell like turpentine or Flex Seal, and then taste like drywall or floor scrapings from a lumber yard, you realize that, you know what? This job looks cool, but sometimes it sucks. You know, sometimes it sucks. And I don't post my review. Like sometimes I see a whiskey and I smell it. I'll just like taste it a little bit. I'm like, I ain't reviewing this. I'm not tasting this all the way. You know, so sometimes the getting all the samples is not what you think. Sid Eline's like he could build a boat with all the boxes. That is true. I could. It'd probably sink, though, especially if I built it. Okay, so now I'm going to taste the Jay Rieger. This one has become a personal favorite. So we did a Club Marzipan pick. We did a Club Marzipan pick at Jay Rieger in Kansas City, and Philip Bosch was there. Quite a few other folks were there, and they're in the chat tonight. But we tasted their whiskey and we tasted some of their blends and stuff, and I knew about them. I was a friend of Ryan. I was a friend of all those folks. But man, I became a huge fan. Huge fan. Todd asked a question. Do you give feedback to every distiller who sends you their stuff? No, I can't. Like, I cannot. Like, it would have to be And people misunderstand like what I do. Like these things are sent to me, but I'm not paid to taste them. Like I'm not paid to taste them. I don't get paid to taste these for reviews on this channel. I do not accept that. Now I have a spirits competition where I hire I think we're at 60 judges right now. I hire 60 judges and we spread all the spirits around to all the other judges, and we taste and we composite those scores. And a lot of times my favorite thing, it doesn't even do well with the other judges. But that's a spirits competition that is in this, built in the same way that like the Emmys are, the Grammys, like where like record labels and TV producers will submit their show or their song for competition. It's the same thing. But for coming inbound to me, to my office, on my kind of like personal platforms, like there's nothing here, man. Nothing. Like I get it. If I get around to it, I'll taste it. I'll let you know for a friend. Like I had someone I considered a good friend. I was like, didn't like your whiskey, bro. Didn't like it. He's like, well, other people did. I was like, yeah, it's cool. I didn't like it. I mean, that's happened a lot, So, and sometimes that becomes public, and then that relationship is a little. Sometimes it can be weird, but most of the time, it's people are very professional about it. Tunes21 says, we love the live stream. Fred, send me the free booze. You got it. Jeff Weiss says, your judges are the best. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Very proud of our judges. Very proud of them. All right, so here we go to the Jay Rieger. Here we go. Tom says I shouldn't do Jimmy like that. I wasn't talking about Jimmy being one of those guys. His whiskey was good. I just didn't say it. I thought Rare Breed. I think Rare Breed, Russell's 10 might be better, but of course, I am a fan of the man behind the bottle. And if I did not express that appropriately, well, I'm a huge fan of Jimmy. Everyone knows that. Okay, so this smells like hickory. So this is a sweet mash, straight bourbon. It smells like hickory. Welcome Beach Sand Bourbon. Says his first live stream on the channel. Got news for you. It's my first live stream on the channel this year, I think, or close to it. I don't do a lot of these anymore. Derek Hawkins asked, curious if you've tried any of the bourbons from Oklahoma and your thoughts on them. Actually, I was just in Oklahoma doing an event with Hatchetown, who does Oklahoma State's bourbon, and did a fundraiser with them. And I told them, I was like, look, this is akin to Jack Daniels or Jim Beam for me, like basic Jack Daniels or Jim Beam. Like, I know you all, they charge a lot for it. But the truth is that it's not great. It's good, and that is like if you're a small distiller and you can get to the classification as good, you charge more because you can, and it's the same reason why we buy $15 candles or $30 candles at a farmer's market instead of going to Hallmark and buying them for $2 or Walmart for $1.50. You have to put your hat on for small business versus like what's in the glass. So yeah, I mean it's fine. But I didn't, lead slingers kind of came and went in my life. I didn't really care for it. They were veterans and Oklahomans. So that's disappointing for me. But I've not really spent a lot of time in Oklahoma with the legitimate with the legitimate whiskey makers. Someone who lived not too far from me was a really good moonshiner. Unfortunately, they got arrested, and, you know, can't really talk about that. Okay. All right, well, yep. This is not our barrel pick, Philip. I'll tell you that. Searching for the words to describe this one. Getting some... Getting some... A little bit of like nail polish, like acetone. But also at the same time, like super fiery burnt corn and like a jalapeno pepper. This is one of the strangest things I've ever tasted in my life. I get like hickory smoke, nail polish, super burnt corn, and like a pepper that you bite down on and it hurts your feet. Like this is kind of feel like this is what I was meant to drink by a campfire or something. Like this I don't know. I can't say that it's flawed and I can't say it's not flawed. This is and I'm not ready to say it's not good either. It's bizarre. It's like really bizarre for me because I have these cadre of positive flavors and then these multitude of negative flavors that I don't want anywhere near my lips, and this seems like a bad relationship. I don't know what's going on with this one, but I mean, some of us thrive in bad relationships, you know, but I don't know. The one note that I'm going to come to you, I'm going to come hard at you with, is the burnt corn. Like I want you to imagine you're grilling corn in your backyard, and you left it on the grill. All right, we've all been there, and you get the corn. You're like, ah, shit, I left it on there too long. It's really burnt. But then I'm like, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna eat it anyway. And so you eat it, and you're like, yeah, that was pretty burnt. That's what it tastes like. That's the dominant note for me, is burnt corn. And then, you know, there's like a big giant pepper that is super hot. Like I know a lot of people like heat and they like hot. I don't know if I like that. I'm not a fan of like, it hurts so bad I can feel it on my toes. And yeah, I don't know. Looks like I missed some questions here in the chat. Oh, look, Beach Sand Bourbon coming in the house. Thank you for that. Says they started their channel in December and trying to hit the 1K mark. Hey, go give Beach Sand Bourbon some love. By the way, I'm thinking about interesting a beach wrestling tournament. So put in the comments what you think about that. Also, I don't think there's oil involved, but sometimes the oil, you know, wrestling matches turn out real well. Yeah, okay, I went too far with that one. It looks like okay. Joshua Bunkers asked a question. More popular as a content creator, reviewing allocated bottles or private barrel picks? Well, Joshua, I got to be honest with you. I'm not the right person to ask that because I don't follow any formula whatsoever for the content creation and what people want. I know that if I did list more frequently, or if I did things like, I don't know, only the allocated bottles, my channel would be much bigger than it is now. But as you can see now, I'm kind of in this phase of like where I'm really trying to focus on my interviews, where I'm doing my celebrity interviews with folks, and I'm very happy with that. I like it. I like it a lot. But I think content creation is about what the individual wants to do, and I've never been a person who chases a carrot. Like, I don't do things because other people are doing it. In 20 years, I'm probably still going to be in bourbon. I'm still going to be doing this when I'm in my 60s. To what extent, I don't know, but I'm a person that I do what I love and what I care about, and I'm for damn sure not going to be doing something because someone thinks I should, or I should be following something, that someone else is doing. But I will say too that I'm able to do a lot more of the fun, geeky stuff that I used to do on this channel, but didn't get the support from like the main audiences as the channel grew on Club Marzipan. So Club Marzipan has become kind of a place where I can get real geeky and still do the reviews, and I do like history, and I do interviews and stuff like that. So anyway, but that's just kind of my thoughts. But I appreciate you tuning in. Tom says that's why I tune in to you and Mash and Drum. It's not contrived. It's genuine. Thank you. But Beach Sand says, love your passion for the industry. I appreciate that. Sid is like, has he ever done a Pappy 23 tasting? Of course I have. I did a whole series when I first started the channel. I blind tasted Pappy 23 against the rest of them. I think I called it Pappy versus the Field or something like that. And Pappy won only one time, I think. Woodinville almost beat it. I think Woodinville beat it. It almost, like, it was like that close to beating it. And that is when Woodinville got on the map for me. Yeah, so, I said I wasn't going to do the bullet. I'll do the bullet bourbon. I got one more in me, and I'm going to regret it tomorrow when I'm rolling. And some motherfuckers got me in the rear naked chokehold, and I'm like, oh my God, I can feel my kidneys and my livers. I can't do anything. I said livers plural. I don't have two livers, but maybe I do because, I've never had any problems here. Anyway, I'm going to taste this in the New Orleans glass. This is probably my second or third least favorite glass in all of whiskey. So, yeah. This is a 10-year-old 90 proof bourbon. 10-year-old bullet bourbon. I forgot how much I fucking hate the New Orleans glass. I gotta pour it out of this. I really don't like this glass. And I'm gonna rinse it out with the actual whiskey. And then pour more whiskey in there. And the reason why I don't like that glass is because the way I sip, it comes in way too fast. I don't like the way it comes on my tongue. I just don't like that glass. Tim Harper asked the question, what are your thoughts on Evan Williams bottled and bond? Bro, that won my best everyday bourbon in 2019, came in 6th like the next year or the year after that. I really haven't done a lot of those you know, I haven't done a lot with it since, but it's a standard, man. It's a standard. And if you could if you cannot make Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond work, then you're just looking for marketing, because it's fantastic. Good Lord. I can't believe 719 people are watching right now. This was just an impromptu tasting. It was a barrel pick. I've added some other things, but it goes without saying, I'm so thankful for you all. I mean, recently, my YouTube channel got named, their favorite interview channel on Inside Hook, and I don't know why. I think it might be because I've worked so hard on the Fred Minnick show and interviewing people and getting guests and everything, but that recognition just it hit me here. It was really deep, and it meant a lot to me. And everyone here who's a Club Marzipan member, man, thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for all the support. You have no idea how much you all have helped me, and just appreciate everyone's support out there, period. Because got to be honest with you, there've been a couple times I've been like, you know what, thinking about giving up. It's been a while, but I've had moments where I've like, maybe I should go do something else. And but you all and your support have always just been so incredible, especially Club Marzipan. You guys are awesome. All right, let me taste this, and I'm going to get to some of those questions in there. Okay. Smells like fig. Like a fig Newton. Like you left a fig Newton in the oven. Not that you would put a fig Newton in the oven. And Noah Clark, yes, I have had the new Coy Hill. It's fan-friggin-tastic. Okay. Kudos to Diageo for putting out an excellent 10-year-old 90 proof bourbon. This is fantastic. How can I describe it to you? Philip asked a question. Does the Diamond Cut Glen improve the taste? You know what? Maybe I just feel a little bit more fancier. And I know I'm known for wearing an ascot, and I'm just here in like a sweater, NCAA wrestling championship shirt. But I'm really not one to focus on anything but feel. And the feel of this does maybe have a little ring to it, but I just tasted it in the New Orleans glass, and it's more about the control of your hand, about hitting your palate for me, than it is the actual whiskey, the impression. I mean, but also you got to remember, Philip, I've been doing this for so long, man. It's hard to impress me with a glass, with a package, with a whiskey. Like, I am your quintessential curmudgeon who hates just about everything that you throw at me until I like it. And I do like this. This is the Bullet 10-year, 90 proof. They don't have price points on this little sheet they gave me. It's good. Very good, actually. It's very good. It's very good. I'm trying to find more words about it. And having a hard time. I'm having a hard time with this one. I think it might be because I have been. This is old school. I'm Phil Chiltered or close to it, but I want to do a little comment here. I want to focus on a comment here from Derek Hawkins. He wrote, "Hey, I got to come on that Green River pick, which was for Club Marzipan, and this is my first and probably only barrel pick. I wouldn't say that. You know, you can come on some more. Met you and others. It meant the world to me. Fan forever." Well, Derek, that's what it's all about, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. I mean, you want to know what I keep going back to on that Green River pick we did for Club Marzipan? It was that buffet and the bread pudding. I think I had so much bread pudding that day. I don't think I've ever had that much bread pudding in my life. But Derek, did you have that bread pudding? I can't remember. And I don't even know if did you come with us to lunch? I feel like you weren't there. But anyway, put in the comments if you had the bread pudding. Everybody else is like, the 716 other people like, man, what the hell's going on with Derek and Fred over here talking about the bread pudding? And I know, he's the OU guy, but anyway, here we go. I'm gonna taste this again. I'm gonna try to actually give this some legitimate notes, and we'll see. Okay, so this is like graham cracker, honey, some ginger, like a vanilla frosting, but it is absolutely worth every penny under $80. This is fantastic. Someone asked a question: Is it a top 100 contender? The answer to that is maybe, quite possibly. I still have 600 things to taste before like December, so can't quite say. But yeah, it's not in the level of Old Stubborn. Like Old Stubborn this year has been like the one I keep kind of gravitating toward as being like the brand that has really came out of nowhere. Yeah, it's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. I don't even know what Eric is talking about here. He says I'm 3,000 calories in. That is not true at all, sir. That is not true at all. It's only 600. But y'all, I think that's going to do it here. If you have, I'm done with the tasting, but I'll do a few more questions. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, and I will be happy to answer them if I can. All right. Let's see here. Thoughts on Weller 12? Noah asked a question. Thoughts on Weller 12? Weller 12 is actually the very first product that that's where what you hear, the Minnick effect. That's where that started. I started talking about it in a magazine called Tasting Panel, and I was really, really taken aback back then about how many bartenders started ordering this like $35 bourbon, and now it's like gone crazy. Like people, you can't find it, but this was 2009, 2010, but it started that whole I say something is good and someone buys it thing started with Weller 12. So that's what I think. It's the first thing that comes to my mind with Weller 12 was like, okay, that's weird. But it wouldn't really come to fruition until Henry McKenna, which I still don't know why anyone ever listens to me. I have no idea why. I'm thankful, but it still is the most mind-boggling thing to me ever. Like I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong, but I can't get over it. It's like it's still very, I can't get over it. It's fascinating to me. I'm thankful, but I can't believe it. But it started with Weller 12. And also, used to be great. Last time I had it, overrated. I mean, I'm not paying $400 for it. Okay, so let me see some. I got a lot of questions coming in. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Jake Smith, thoughts on Vesey Straight Bourbon Whiskey, picked up in Charleston. Lovely pour for the price. Jake, I haven't had that one yet. Yeah, like I kind of said, like I don't always taste everything, and I haven't had that one yet. Mr. Joram Banham asked a question, have I had Boulder 2024 cask? Not yet, but I've got it in the office. And if I had a little bit in me, I would probably taste it. What is up, Rare Bird? Rare Bird in the house. Good to see you, my friend. If you haven't seen David's books, make sure you go check him out. He's a really good author. Tom Harper, state of the industry. Thoughts on why so many good bottles sit, and yet you see special releases from Jim Beam almost weekly. Seems like an odd time. Well, Tom, that's too deep of a question for now. I love you, but I can't answer that one right now. That's a lot. Philip Bosch, can I do a shameless plug? Absolutely. I started something new on my personal experience in our virtual tasting. Absolutely, Philip. Put it in the chat. Go for it, man. I'll call it out too, Philip, when you put it in the chat. Let's see. I'm just kind of going up the scroll meter here with everyone's commented. We got mostly YouTube commenters, but if you're on X or Facebook or Twitch, which I've learned, if you're streaming into Twitch and other places, it's not necessarily a good thing. Y'all don't like that. So I know that now. But Adam asks, do you still enjoy the everyday pour like Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, having access to the best of the best? Oh, without a doubt. I actually enjoy those more than the complicated ones because sometimes I want to have a sip of something and not try to like break it down, So without a doubt, that's a great question. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one from Tim Harper, a good friend of mine. When you talk with Jelly Roll, do you still call him Jelly Roll or Jason? What's interesting about that is Jelly's beginning to introduce himself as Jason. So if you go to his concerts, he'll say he's Jason, Jelly Roll, and I think you're seeing a transformation there. Maybe he wants to be referred to as Jason more. But yeah, I think if you have the opportunity, I wouldn't say I'm in his inner circle. I'm not in his inner circle, and I'm not in his next out layer. Like I've interviewed him a couple times, and I have shaken his hand several and talked to him several, but I'm not in that space where he's like calling me and texting me and asking me for advice. Like my relationship with Yellow Wolf, for example, is very different than Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is someone that I support and I'm all about, and I'm pushing him all the time. I think it's awesome. He was the second guest on my show, the Fred Minnick show. But to me, I think I'm probably, for him, I'm probably still like a member of the media, if you will, versus a friend. And with Yellow Wolf, for example, or Ian Somerhalder, for example, I would say I'm a friend. So that would be like a little bit of like differentiation I would describe to you, Tim. And so, but I do call him Jason when I see him. But he's doing great. I'm proud of him. Margarita, great to see you here. Does Fig come through that you nosed? Which one are you talking about, Margarita? Are you talking about the Bullet 10-year-old or the barrel pick? Ooh, whiskey for foodies. Talking to Beaches and Bourbon. I like Whiskey for Foodies. That's a good channel name. Go for it, Whiskey for Foodies. I do love some food. What would you, by the way, Whiskey for Foodies, this could be a really good video for you all, or you can put it in the chat. But what would you pair with tacos? Like I like my tacos like super spicy, like some like cut up. Actually, here we go. Whiskey for Foodies. This is a video for you. If you so like, and you can clip this if you like. I like corn tortilla. Okay. I like lingua. Lingua is my favorite meat in a taco. And I like small slices of jalapeno, little cilantro, onion, and no tomato, little lettuce, and maybe just a dash of some kind of sauce. Dealer's choice there on the sauce, but I'm not always a sauce person when it comes to my hot sauce. I usually like the pepper to speak in my taco. And a little wedge of lime, like right along there where it kind of soaks in on the lingua. What's your bourbon pairing of choice there? Because I've got mine. I'm very curious to see what is yours. So that could be a video, or you can put it in the chat. Okay. Tim says tequila with tacos. I don't know about that. I do like bourbon with tacos. Eric, nothing cuts spicy more than a guacamole margarita. All right, Eric. Thanks, Tom. Tom Harper with some very kind comments. All right, so Whiskey for Foodies is saying it. Go check out their channel. They're saying I have to find it first, and when I do, I'll share it. All right. So their Whiskey for Foodies is on a mission right now to go find that particular whiskey that I'm looking forward to. All right, y'all. Maybe it's time to call it a night. I want to thank everyone for being here. And it really does mean a lot to me that right now there are 746 people watching. I'm so thankful for that. You have no idea how much that means to me, because it's been over a year. Over a year since I've done a live stream. Maybe I've done I don't think I've done a live stream on YouTube, especially, in a long time. I think it's been since my top 100. But I'm so focused on writing a new book. I've been so focused on Club Marzipan and Ascot Awards and the Fred Minnick Show, which, as you can tell, I've put a lot into. I've heavily invested it. I hired a former producer of the Ellen Show. I've just put a lot into a lot of other things that live streaming just kind of I've went into to go do other stuff. And, it it's so cool that I could just press a button after typing a little bit, and you all are just there kind of hanging out with me tonight. It means a lot, and I'm just so thankful for the whiskey community, but especially Club Marzipan. You all are the best. And we got a new barrel. Y'all. A new barrel that's going to be coming out here soon. Details on that. I'm hoping this gets in before the holiday season. You're looking at barrel number 56077, and this is 115.90 proof, 6.3 years. This is a forbidden pick, so this is Marianne Eves whiskey. Pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about this. And yeah, it's been a long time since I've done one of these, and I'm just so thankful for everyone. Appreciate you all tuning in, and remember, be safe out there. What did I used to say? Be safe out there. What was my old pandemic saying? No, vodka sucks and no licking handrails. Does anybody remember my pandemic saying? I can't remember. No licking handrails. No. I forgot. And vodka sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. I remember that one. I don't remember the rest of it. No licking handrails, and remember, vodka sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. That's it. Thank you, Eric. Thank you all. So I will sign off with this. No licking handrails, and remember, vodka sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. Cheers. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be safe out there, and also the vodka sucks. Yeah, that part's true. It really sucks. So, also,